Tonight on 8.5-bit, Destiny 2, Rock of Ages 2, and we finally finished Resident Evil 7. Welcome, friends of all designs, to episode 224 of 8.5-bit, which I'm sure is going to be the most episode that Paul can tune out episode of them all.
No, yeah, probably. But
Destiny 2 and Apple.
Oh, and XCOM.
I like XCOM.
Yeah,
okay.
We didn't have to talk about Apple.
I'm your host, Paul, and generally today are my good friends, James.
Hello.
And Amy.
You.
And friends, I have some news for you.
Oh, news, not a question.
Okay. Friends, I have an announcement that 8.5-bit will be hosting, at this point, 2 panels at PAX Australia.
Ayo.
We will be hosting on Friday, October the 27th in the Kookaburra Theatre at 10:30 a.m. So that's an early start for our first day.
Wow. At least I didn't bookend us this time.
Yeah, that's good. We will be hosting the weirdest video games of all time.
Oh, okay.
Which is a play on our old top 5 series. And then on the Sunday, so we are kind of bookended on both ends of it. Later on the Sunday, I think we're at 3:30 in the... this just came in. Galar Theatre. We will be hosting the best worst games in history, Jurassic Park Trespasser.
Hey, I was wondering if I need to start playing that.
We better start prepping on those things.
Is it GOG? Is it on GOG
if you want to
somewhere?
know, if you want, no, it's you got to get ready to jump through some hoops if you haven't tried to play it yet, man.
All right. Okay, that's going to be an interesting discussion.
Yeah, so we will be weirdest video games of all time, where we'll be talking about some very strange games in our personal history and just general research history, and then we will be talking about Jurassic Park Trespasser and all that's wonderful in that terrible, terrible game. So come down to PAX Australia and you'll have a good time.
I'll be there.
And you could also see us. I mean, it probably won't affect your good time.
No, I don't think it's going to subtract from your experience.
It won't. I will promise you this. You won't come any worse off.
Maybe if you hug us, you may be clammier.
Yeah, Paul offers hugs for a price.
No, actually, no. I did start my premium hugs business.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we counted free hugs because you can't offer a premium product for free. So we had premium hugs $1 t-shirts that we'd wear around town, and we make $1 here and there. And
so you're gonna wear those around PAX?
No. Although I mean, it's
imagine
nice
all
and
the
cool.
dollars.
I could make some good dollars.
Good dollar.
Dollar.
I'll at least give you a pity hug.
Oh, yeah. So what is the most exciting thing we could talk about? We could talk about Rock of Ages 2, which is, of course, what everyone's really...
that's why everyone's here.
There's Knack 2 came out.
Yeah.
Which we haven't played the full version, but we haven't played the demo. Well, I've played the demo. I don't know if you guys
I've just seen the memes show up in Splatoon 2.
I mean...
I don't have a PS4.
I'm really big into this game that just came out on Steam that basically nobody's discussed or played of, called A Robot Named Fight. So that's probably good to lead this. I mean, there's nothing else that's really big to talk about this week.
Not really. It's been a bit quiet.
Yeah. I mean,
very.
It came out.
Oh, we saw It.
It was a good movie.
Yeah. I liked the actor that played It.
I liked all of the actors.
Yeah, it was well acted.
It was.
It was a good movie.
Would you recommend me see it?
Yeah.
How are you with horror films?
Fine.
Then yes.
Cool.
I mean, it's tense, but it's not like a haunt you in your dreams kind of horror film.
I couldn't get Cheryl to watch it.
Yes, but
That
Cheryl
ain't
doesn't watch
happening.
any horror.
No.
I do feel like we could break her in. We just need the right way.
She watched Cabin in the Woods and she liked that.
Yeah. See, Cabin in the Woods good. I mean, the way I got back into horror got into horror when I was a teenager, because before that I would not watch horror, was I accidentally saw Army of Darkness on TV, and that's a comedy adventure movie, but it's horror themed. And then I said, well, I'll go watch the second one then. Hey, this is comedy horror. And then it just kept getting more horror, and I didn't care about the horror part anymore.
And then look at the man we have today.
Yes, you could turn out like me if you play your cards just in a completely random order with no real plan or guide. Or just waste your life away at the dog park.
It's not wasting your life
met,
away.
Met a dancer down there today.
Oh, yeah?
What kind
Actually,
of
I met him
dancer?
before, but I didn't know he was a
Like
dancer.
a ballet dancer?
No, contemporary dance.
Yeah.
They're doing some good stuff. At the moment, he's actually going to a lot of rural communities and working with not just troubled kids, but just groups of kids. And they've got he's contemporary dance, and they've got a hip hop guy, and they've got I don't know if it's African dance or the other guy is African. It could be both.
These things are not mutually exclusive.
Yeah, exactly.
I met a champion, not a competition grade pole dance the other day.
Oh, yeah?
She was pretty nice.
Yeah.
Bought a lot
Which
of protein.
competition?
I don't know.
See, that's what you got to say. Like, I'm an award winner, but I've only entered shitty competitions. That's not true. I won some good awards.
Most of those awards are just participation.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I did throw out a bunch of my old trophies recently.
Yeah.
Because I realized that most of them weren't really celebrating anything of note. And it's just a trophy. You could just go to a store and buy them. They're not that special. They're a bit of cheap plastic that's been spray painted on a yeah. I think the only award, old school when I was a kid award I kept was my Scout of the Year thing.
Yeah.
Because I worked hard for that.
Yeah, I never got
Everything
awards.
else would have been.
Like, I just never, when I was in school, tried.
You don't have like a bullshit pile of medals?
No.
But you were never a sporty person,
No.
were you?
Do you remember in Scouts? Remember how many badges I had in Scouts?
No.
I think it was like 1 or 2.
And I had the award for most badges.
Yeah, I wasn't.
We are very different people when it comes down to some core elements, aren't we?
I just could not be bothered for badges. I was there to burn
Not
things.
bothered for badges. Yeah.
I was like that as a girl guide, so.
Yeah. Besties.
Oh, that.
See,
Try again. Oh.
but I only did
That
1
works.
year of getting all the badges because I saw the good trophy and I really wanted the good trophy. So once I had it, no need to try anymore.
This really goes to like our take on, say, something like Banjo-Kazooie, where Paul will collect all the things and James just doesn't try.
a good place. It's good fun. And then the game's finished and you don't have to play it again. Whereas you like to casually collect something
Yes.
forever.
Yeah.
Yeah. Speaking of which, Destiny 2 came out.
Oh
Yes,
my gosh.
Destiny 2. So that...
So let's just talk exclusively about the beta.
Yes.
Because we actually skipped, because we didn't record last week, I had played the PC beta and you had just played it before the episode before that.
Yep.
You were downloading it. Did you actually manage to load it up, Amy?
I didn't.
Here's some judgment coming your way. It sounds like this. So if you hear that noise, it's judgment.
You get used to the
keep
noise
that in
after
your
a while.
blood.
You just kind of tune it out. So, as someone who loved Destiny 1, so you tell me about your impressions from Destiny 2 PC beta.
Yeah, well, I mean, we already gave impressions of the console beta, and
Yeah.
I thought it played fine.
Yep.
And I quite enjoyed the little strike that they had in it. Was it a strike or
It's a strike, yeah. The inverted spire. Is the name of that strike.
So on PC, it's exactly the same beta.
Yep.
Except now it is 1,000,000% easier because you can just headshot everything. It's like, wow,
definitely.
this game is for babies, but satisfying babies.
Yes.
And also it runs the port's really, really well done. I think I read it's being done by Vicarious Visions.
I don't know the company, but it is a separate
Yeah,
entity that's doing
I mean, it's a real good port. It runs great.
Yeah.
It's a real pity that it did not launch on PC as well because I think it would have been the platform of choice for a lot of people, even though the PS4 is getting content first on a lot of things and has some exclusive content.
Yeah,
I
there's an
believe.
exclusive strike in there.
I'd still say, fuck it, give me the PC version because it just plays so well and works well.
Yeah, because there was the moment just today when we're in the office.
Yeah.
And I realized that if we all had Destiny on our computers right now, we could just do a lunchtime strike or something like that. Like it actually, for that just kind of casual play with friends, it's pretty well. I think it's pretty well suited for it. Mm-hmm. It's so I've now played through the entire campaign.
Also, I'll just point out that, as always, I was correct, and it is Vicarious doing the PC port.
It is,
so
yeah.
what a reliable team Vicarious is.
Then why is it in the Blizzard Battle.net?
Because it's an Activision, and Activision don't want to give Steam the money.
True. Okay.
Which, I mean, is fair enough,
look,
but
I mean,
it also is
yeah.
weird that it's on Blizzard's thing. Also amazing, because historically, and this might be news to you, Amy, because you literally weren't alive, but Bungie and Blizzard weren't exactly playmates back in the day. I wouldn't say they were enemies, but they had their own competing platforms, and they were like pretty different companies. And now,
They're
20
besties.
years plus later, you have a Bungie game releasing on Blizzard's platform.
I mean, we live in a world where we have Sonic games and Nintendo consoles. It's
Oh yeah. I mean, like, I've got no
dogs
problem
and
with people
cats
playing
living
it.
together,
Yeah,
mass hysteria,
madness.
is what's going on.
It's fun. Also, I was just thinking that Bungie really haven't changed much. They've forgotten all about Myth and all that stuff's gone away.
They're no longer Mac exclusive.
Yeah,
They ditched that
exactly.
part,
It's like because they were Mac and they were like the Mac counter to
Yeah.
Blizzard in many ways. But It's like the Marathon and Halos and Destinies. And really, if you worked hard enough, I'm sure you could make them a shared universe. It's sci-fi robots shooting each other.
Well, Halo and Marathon are.
Are they officially
They're
the
not
same
officially,
universe?
but there are references between the
They
two.
certainly have a lot of shared characteristics.
Yes. Yeah, Destiny, I haven't heard of any Marathon references making their way.
I'm sure there'll be a reference in there somewhere, even though I think legally everyone that was on Marathon is now fired from that company.
Probably.
They just purged them
out of a cannon
into the sun. Okay.
Yeah.
So why don't you tell me about the full Destiny
product.
2?
So I think the beta really held its cards close. Because when I first started playing the full retail product, one of my early comments was, this Destiny DLC is kind of amazing.
Yes, I remember you making that comment.
And I'm sure many other people have made that comment too. What a funny joke.
I went...
That's the sound, the sound was really like that. But now I've had the time to kind of play through the whole campaign.
Yeah.
And without any spoilers... I would say it is a satisfying campaign with a beginning and a conclusion, with a villain who has motivations and a plot that's understandable.
How very undestined.
So high praise.
In the campaign.
But does it have a middle?
In the campaign. It does have a middle.
Oh.
Now, I have heard this addressed otherwise, but it was people that hadn't finished the game yet. They'd only been a few hours in, so I'm not sure of the overall thing. How often in the game do you walk up to, say, a computer terminal, and then Ghost comes out and scans it, and you just hold the area for 5 minutes?
I don't think it happened once.
It does happen once.
I'm trying to remember.
But it's literally like they do the scanning and it's almost like a joke in the first mission. So they don't fall back on that. They don't fall back in their heels.
No. Each of the campaign missions is pretty unique. It felt like a very full-fledged product. Like, I remember when I finished the game, it wasn't like, oh, that's it. Like I think.
Well, I mean, original Destiny ended and people was basically like, oh, I didn't even...
Well, it's like, what's the Black Garden?
I have no idea what's going on, and that's the end of it.
Where this actually had a structure, like a structured narrative, which wraps up in a conclusive way and then sets it for like, all right, more stuff can happen now. Yeah. Yes. So, and that's all I want. Like, I wouldn't say that the plot was like staggeringly good, but it was definitely okay. Like, I put it in the realms of like sci-fi blockbuster.
Okay.
You know, like it's okay.
Yeah.
You know, it's okay.
Marvel grade.
Yeah, like I probably put it above B+. Oh, sorry, what's our going?
Marvel's B+, but it went down for a little while, but it sort of come back.
I'd give it an A-. Yeah, A- sci-fi. That's fine.
Tonally and story-wise compared to the first game, though, and these are questions I'm asking based on other people's opinions and things. Would you say that it's that they're kind of different tones and stories in that Destiny, whilst being incredibly minimalist and dry in its actual presentation, was kind of in the background rich if you went into the Grimoire shit, and it was a somewhat serious sci-fi, while this is getting more Star Warsy, and we've got Nathan Fillion, and we've got... Is that a fair thing, that it's actually changed what it is to a degree?
There's definitely a lot more levity. It feels closer to probably Taken King in its tone, which was the good DLC, where there's enough banter between it that it feels... I'd actually say it feels like too much levity. Like it's pretty light. Like, each of the characters you meet are all kind of quirky, and it's like when you have lots of quirky characters in something. It's like when everyone's quirky, it's just the norm.
But when everyone's fucking Mal in Firefly, it's not special anymore.
I think if anything, they probably there's all these quirky characters, and there's one who's like a different kind of quirky, which you meet kind of later in the game. And I was kind of refreshed when I met him. I'm like, oh, this is like one who's like has a different kind of personality than a smartass. So it's like a different kind of smartass. But basically everyone's a smartass in the game. But I think...
Would I fit in as a character? Just sort of like cutting you off and belittling Destiny?
Yeah, no, you probably be in there. You'd be in the farm somewhere, hanging out.
I could give you a special gun.
I've been very entertained by the descriptions on the weapons. Like that's probably where most of the jokes live, because there are genuine jokes in the game, and it's mainly in the lore descriptions. Like the grimoire's gone now. Like if you want to get the lore, you just sort of select something and you hold down a button and it pops in.
Oh, cool.
Like you don't have to go to an app to read the lore.
But that was the fun.
Yeah, it delivers it quite well. And when you get weapons, there's one which is like basically an Apple announcement, and just talks about all its great features and things like that. Like it's pretty good. Like it's entertaining. It's worth reading the weapon descriptions, because some of them are pretty funny.
Yeah, I do that anyway because I do enjoy a good joke in the weapon description for stuff. Yeah. So.
Yeah.
I just want technical statistics and how it works. Schematics, please. I want to know exactly how they work.
Yeah, they don't do that so much.
I want Star Citizen style. I want a breakdown of the gun manufacturers and then the manufacturers of each component. And
you can get a manufacturer sometimes. So I'll go with the things which
who does make space guns?
Me.
Oh no, there's a couple of corporations that do it.
Are there?
Yeah.
I thought isn't humanity basically destroyed?
Oh yeah, but it's in the remains of the, like there was the Golden Age.
So these are just leftover guns.
I have a feeling most of them are leftovers.
Okay.
Because the Golden Age was pretty prosperous for humanity, and they made lots of shit.
This was post the Halo timeline.
Yeah, post Halo, way post Marathon. Like, I'll probably I'll talk about the stuff that sucked. Well, not.
Oh
sucked.
yeah, I want to know. Tell me.
Okay, so
Tell me.
What blows chunks?
So the things which were terrible was, I think that the opening experience is not so great, because you feel like you're fighting the same things. Like it feels like I'm playing more Destiny. It's a little slow in kind of opening up what the actual game is. That's about all got. No. The gunplay is largely unchanged. But then they haven't really done. It was fine. Like if you go to look at all the problems with Destiny 1, the gunplay was never one.
If I shoot someone that's too much higher level than me, does it say they're immune to bullets?
I never saw that. No, I think that's completely gone.
Thank gosh.
I can't think of a single time where I tried to shoot someone and it said immune. I think that's just gone. That's about the biggest complaints I've got. Like probably that the enemies there aren't that many new ones. Like it feels like I'm fighting the same stuff. They're tweaked. There's a few new enemies, but generally it's about the same. Probably something that highlights the biggest difference as to how the encounters work, though, is with you got the public events, which are really good. You just once you're running around, you just join in with random people, and they had a walker. And the walker is one of the things that pops in Destiny 1 all the time. The big walkie robot.
It's a Texas Ranger?
Yeah, it's from Texas. Yeah, it's got a cowboy hat and everything. And whenever you fight them, they're all exactly the same. And they're basically big damage sponges. Where now...
Nothing's more fun than a damage sponge.
Where now, if you know the optimal way to fight it, you can actually burn through it real quick. There'll be like you shoot this guy, he'll drop an orb, and you can use that to unlock a special weapon, and you get the special weapon, you do a lot of damage. Like it doesn't feel like as much of a damage punch.
That was just on me realizing like how much I sucked at Destiny 2 when I played the PC version, because when we played the Strike in the console beta, we were up with a random as our third, and he just strolled through the area. At the end, he had like 300 kills and I had 30 kills or something. I'm like, what the fuck? I know he was ahead of me and leading the pack, but this seems fucking ridiculous. The things in this game don't die that quickly. Until then, I played the PC version and I could just shoot them in the head, and I realized he was just much better than me.
Yeah. Like once you know, each of the enemies will have a way to take them down.
You shoot them in the head.
No, not all the time.
I'll shoot them in the gas count.
If they're the Vex, they have a little diamond in their chest, and you shoot that instead, the glowy bit.
Shoot the glowing codpiece.
Yeah. So it's not always the head.
Remember in House of the Dead, where they whenever a boss comes up, it says, here is its weak point, and it's always the head, until you get to the almost entirely transparent last boss, except he's entirely transparent except for the giant red heart, and it says, shoot it in the giant red heart. It's like, thanks for telling this game. Couldn't read that one.
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry.
Yeah. So I don't know, where was I was talking about?
I don't know. I interjected. There's weaknesses, different characters.
Look, there's an awful lot to this game, and I could talk about it for a long time. I won't, though.
Thank you.
Yeah. So I think now that I go and play through it, and I can see what the end game is, there's a lot of ways that this improved, and I don't think it's fair for me to call it just a good DLC.
Yeah.
Probably the biggest thing I've noticed is that it's far less grindy, much less grindy. It's very generous with its rewards. So you get to level 20
Except for the shaders.
Actually, no, I have so many shaders.
Yeah, but are they the same ones?
Yeah.
From the raid? Because you got to grind that raid if you want to do a full set.
Yeah, no, I don't care. Like, there are so many shaders this game gives you. I got them coming out of my ears.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
That's a serious medical problem.
So...
Easy way to get them.
It's just blocking them out everywhere. So if you say take down a big boss, it'll drop a crate, like just like a strong enemy. It'll drop a crate.
Yeah.
If you're running somewhere and there's like a public event, if you just rock up, you'll get a reward. Like you actually don't have to do anything. Oh, little toast is heating the microphone. Hey, you gonna say something? He's gonna rub against it, little buddy.
He doesn't talk a lot.
No, he doesn't. Yeah. So there's basically lots of ways for it to give you shit. The way that you kind of grind reputation's much simplified. You just get tokens for doing things. You go to the vendor and you get it. So I've gotten so far almost to a high enough level to do the higher in-game content, like the raids.
Yeah.
And I do not feel like I've had to grind to get
The raid hasn't launched yet.
No, I think it's launching soon.
Week, I think.
Yeah, but I don't feel like I've been grinding much to get there. Whereas I think with Destiny 1, everything felt like a chore. Where this, I have a feeling they've taken a lot of cues from Diablo 3. And Diablo 3, they changed their loot system, so every time you play it, it's basically going to give you something.
I think they actually took more cues from Torchlight 2.
yeah, you're going to play that card?
Yeah, it's my Battle Realms card.
Your Battle Realms card. So yeah, I think it's a much easier game to play casually. Now I've gotten to the point where I'm kind of doing some of the harder content. It's starting to get more challenging, but I feel like for me to get there, it's not going to be a big deal. Mm-hmm. Like I feel like I can do it. Actually, no, another thing also that I think is a big improvement is Destiny 1. Because I loaded up Destiny 1 like a few weeks ago. Mm-hmm. And I was like, let's just jump in. I haven't played this thing in ages. Surely they've done some stuff to it. No. Like I loaded it up and I was just bored.
Yeah.
But now in Destiny 2, there's like the main content that you play through. Mm-hmm. And they have this thing called adventures.
Okay.
And adventures are quests that appear on the map, and there's just a shitload of them. And they're just little like plot things to do in the world. Mm-hmm. It can take you like 10, 15 minutes. You can do them with other people. But they're not just go kill 10 things. Like there'll be a little story and there'll be like little events that happen. You'll learn more about the world. And there's a lot of them. Like having finished the game, there's probably still another 20, 30 hours of content for me to do in that game. Like it's huge. And they're planning on doing regular DLC. Like I think they want to do like every 3 months is the plan or something like that. So I don't know if they fix their content pipeline, so they actually got stuff coming out regularly. If they fix the grind, I think it's going to do well for a while. Like it's
Destiny do well. I mean, nobody plays that game.
It's definitely, they've learnt an awful lot from Destiny 1, and now I'm just playing with people from work. Just get on the chat. We go do a strike.
Some good friends.
So is the strike basically like a raid, or
it's like a mini dungeon?
Yeah.
Like it's going to take you 20 minutes. I've tried one of the Nightfall raids, which is like the hard mode raids. Mm-hmm. Nightfall strikes. We did not get far. So like this is for the people that play an awful lot and get the this is where the gear grind comes in.
Just wait until it's on PC.
Yeah, well then it's probably going to be a bit easier.
Much easier.
Yeah. So I don't know. I wasn't sure, having played through it, that I was going to get the PC version. But I don't know. Now I'm looking at the way I'm playing it, and I reckon there'll be a bunch of new people I know.
You're not going to need any more games this year. You can just Destiny 2 and Splatoon 2 it up.
Yeah, I have still been loading up Splatoon 2. I loaded it up this morning.
Mm-hmm.
So I've been trying to not
How
forget
often in Destiny did you just move the controller a little bit?
Sorry?
Just move it to get that little gyro aim.
Not actually, no. I kind of adapted pretty well. Like when I jump back into Splatoon 2 and I've got my motion control back, I'm like, oh god, there it is.
There it is.
Like it's like once you're used to it, like it is a fantastic control system. But the auto aim in Destiny 2 is also really good. So I still feel like I'm getting a lot of
amazing gyroscopic accurate controls versus auto aim.
No, but
I think I know one which is for people who like to get good and which one is for babies.
But if you think of what Destiny is, which is a casual gear grind, I don't really care about high skill.
No.
Like it's like they are different things.
Also like it's balanced for that. Like you don't just be it doesn't auto aim you to become like an amazing shooter.
And what it means is
I just like to make fun of it.
Like when I was playing the more difficult content, it came less about the aiming and more about when do I use my special. I have to use the right weapon to take this guy down. I have to, not get swamped. You're still skillful, but it's just in a different way.
I used the auto aim all the way through Uncharted 4, and I didn't give a fuck.
That's probably a good way to play it.
Yeah. I got to choose who I wanted to shoot, and then I just shot him. It's like, this game I have to deal with less bullshit now.
Yeah,
this is great.
Who plays Uncharted for combat? That's not why you're there.
Someone, I don't know.
I don't know. Probably a lot of people, actually.
Anyway, so since we're talking about Splatoon 2 so much, we've got some Splatoon 2 news.
Yes.
Here's some amazing news. They've updated Nintendo's mobile app, so now the voice chat works when it's not active and the screen can turn off.
Has it fixed the Bluetooth problem? I ran into that the other day. It was awful.
What was the Bluetooth problem?
How it just downgrades the audio to like.
I think that's just the fucking audio quality, isn't it? Is it better on headphones?
I don't know. I've got my Bluetooth headset in. I'll
Yeah, but is that Bluetooth or is that just the audio quality?
I don't know, but
I think it's just the terrible audio
I'm trying
quality.
to talk. Stop.
Sorry.
So I'm listening to music. I'll open up the app just to check out if there's anything I want to buy, and then it'll just lower the quality of my music.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As far as I know, that's nothing to do with Bluetooth. That's just the audio quality, and it takes over the audio device.
Okay.
So I expect it's the same.
Ew.
Yeah. So this people said now they've upgraded to the bare minimum. But and I actually wanted to try and do this on the stream, but then I couldn't be bothered organizing and I forgot about it. If we had 2 switches here right now set up, we could demonstrate how Splatoon 2 actually has
we can
it built in anyway.
Really?
Yes.
Yep. If you set up in LAN mode and you plug in a headset into the audio jack,
I think you also got to press a button as well.
Really?
Yeah, well, that's to get into LAN mode, the button combination.
yeah.
So it is in there.
Yes, there's voice chat built into Splatoon 2.
Let's play it. I've got my Switch here with Splatoon.
I didn't.
Apparently, the audio quality is a bit shit, but so it is in the app as well. But it's actually built into the fucking game.
Okay, still, I don't care.
And it also indicates that jack, because I never checked the schematic of it, but the jack in the Switch actually
does have a microphone
enough contacts
receiver.
for the
That's good.
For mine.
Well, I mean, I'm glad they've improved it.
They didn't improve any. Oh, you mean the app?
Yeah.
No, well, why? I'm still not going to use it. It's terrible.
But the matchmaking thing is still kind of crap. And
yeah, they need to drop this entire idea and just put it in
Actually,
there.
can we try it after the show? I've actually got my Bluetooth headphones here, and they have a microphone. And
no, because we just use Discord.
So, you can't use your Bluetooth headphones with the built-in audio.
Really? I thought that's what they were using.
No, there's no Bluetooth.
No, there's no Bluetooth in the Switch.
Oh,
you got to wait for Switch 2.
Oh, wait, yeah.
Yeah. Because that's Nintendo.
Yeah. You'll have to get, if you want to use that, you'd have to get some sort of converter audio receiver that you plug in.
Gross.
Yep.
Good old Nintendo.
Good old future. My Vita, I can use my Bluetooth headphones on fine.
Yeah. I was playing Spyro with my Bluetooth headphones the other day. It was great.
Okay, shall we continue some Nintendo news?
No, we're talking about Destiny 2 more. So we get
What about Splatoon?
No, we're done with Destiny 2.
I was done with it before they released it.
No, you just wait. Just wait.
I'll probably buy one.
I will buy it for $15 to $20 sometime mid next year, and I will have a wonderful afternoon playing it until I just go.
It's probably yes. That's the way it'll go down.
I'll probably buy it a few months after launch on PC.
Did you get into Jesus?
Did I get into Jesus?
Borderlands?
No, I think Borderlands is trash.
Okay.
I think it's hot trash.
Okay.
I've been meaning to try it because I own both games.
Oh, you should. I wouldn't say it's hot trash.
I mean, like maybe
I
it's
enjoy
not.
it.
Maybe it's not good enough to be called hot trash. But it's
man.
it's certainly cold, muggy,
Oh man.
congealed trash.
I like the art style.
yeah.
I did.
It's very pretty.
I think I probably put in 8 hours in the first one, and I put in a little bit in the second one because we were trying to play it with friends, but they were the kind of friends that obsess. So everyone bought it and loaded it up, and were like, "Yay, this is fun!" And then the next day, they were all like, "I don't
Playing.
know." They were all infinite levels higher than the rest of us. And like, well, this is ruined now. Thanks, guys. The shooting did seem better, like the level design and the combat seemed better in the second one.
Yeah.
But
And it had Handsome Jack, who is
still-
a fantastic villain.
yeah, I still just get so bored of the gameplay in it. And I just like, you know me, I don't like, I know you, when you see something drop, you go, yay, what could it be? And I'm
Yeah.
like, oh, fuck, now I've got to spend a while comparing some useless stats. Yeah.
Oh man, I can't wait to compare those useless stats. It's going to be so
Numbers.
good.
Hey, look, I've got 90 guns in my inventory and only 2 of them are worth using. Why can't I get to, could you sell it any time in Borderlands 2 or did you have to get to a vendor? I can't remember.
I think you had to go to a vendor.
Anyway, They just become inventory management the game to me.
Yeah.
And then it's like, and the shooting is unsatisfying for me. Please give me Splatoon shooting or Wolfenstein shooting or Doom's fucking shooting. Thank you. Jeez, imagine that. Imagine a game that played like Doom.
A Doom.
It could have a little bit of loot, and maybe I wouldn't hate it
Shooter
because it plays well. No. Anyway, sorry, I'll stop bragging. I realize they're very popular games. In my opinion,
cool.
it's not shared by the majority. That's all right.
You tell us what you really think, Paul.
Okay, well, here it comes.
I don't want to listen to it.
I'm used to being a reserved person.
Yeah. You thought PewDiePie was offensive. Here we go.
Here we go. That's right. I've got something to say.
I have an opinion.
No, let's not.
I don't think it's worth talking about.
I don't think it's even worth talking about. Yeah, it's a thing.
It's stupid.
It was what I wanted. Okay, well now it's mentioned anyway. So PewDiePie did a racial slur this last week.
Yes.
And I don't actually think there's any real people like, people can be people, but I don't know. If your go-to is to say, well, the N-word, I don't need to repeat because let's face it, I don't deserve to repeat it.
Nope.
You're a little bit of a shitty person.
Well, especially if
doesn't mean you're an awful human being, but you got a little element of shit in you. It's I can use some bad words sometimes.
I think it was more took me as unprofessional.
Yes, because the thing is, he is a children's entertainer.
Yeah.
And that needs to be there. But the reaction, Sean Vanneman from, I'm not. He was on his Idle Thumbs, but Firewatch.
Yeah. I've watched
Santo's
Firewatch.
Capo Santo. Capo Santo. In response, used a DMCA claim to take down the videos that PewDiePie did of Firewatch. And whilst I think, you'd want to disassociate, and he was aware of the hypocrisy of. They actually, they got attention from PewDiePie from that video, and he was aware of that. I don't think that's what DMCA is for.
No,
and there's a bit too much. There's a few people that have been really exploiting that system, and I'm like,
it was just sort of like a kind of a shitty situation. I understand that they wanted to do something, but it's like, is that the way you want to go about it? But then it's the biggest stick they can wield. That's why I refuse to have too much of an opinion on it.
It's legally fine.
Yeah,
but whether or not it's the right action to do.
Also, hey, Firewatch is being review bombed because that's what the internet does these days.
Yeah, but review bombs are pointless.
It's stupid.
It was one of the things we skipped it last time because again it was. But what was being reviewed? Dota 2 was being reviewed bombed because of the Half-Life 3 reveal.
Yeah.
And what effect does anyone think any of this stuff's going to have? I was going to download Dota 2, but then I saw it had mostly negative recently, and everyone was calling them bad. No one cares. If anything, review bombing up sales.
Well, you get that Kotaku article.
Have you noticed how often, and pretty much how statically No Man's Sky is still in the top 10 of Steam? All the time.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me too much. It's actually turned into something closer to what it actually,
even when it was in its main hate before it got any improvements.
Yep.
Still up there.
Yep.
That's review bombs.
Any publicity is good publicity, basically.
Yeah, kinda.
Well, with video games anyway. It's what irks me because no one really wants to take us seriously then. But that's a whole nother thing.
That's just the world. Our country this week, everyone was up in arms about our Prime Minister having a picture with his grandson and drinking a beer. And which I had to point out to people, that was literally 2 people on Twitter said something. It wasn't an uproar. No one gives a shit.
I remember the picture and thought, oh, that's kind of cute.
No one cares.
Yeah. Okay.
So the uproar, again, is just people having an uproar about it. That's why I get really disappointed because I'm always very keen to point out to people that the thing we're just pretending is a scandal is just manufactured. No one actually cares. Like,
are you saying it's fake news, Paul?
Yes, it's fake news, as it were. It's technically real news, but it's very much stretching the amount of relevance. But then every once in a while, I'm wrong about that, and I'm just surprised at how shitty human beings are.
Yeah.
I just wish we could have a big uplifting news channel which will just have pictures of puppies and stuff.
Oh yeah,
it's called Facebook.
No, it's called Trump News. Haven't you seen it?
No, I haven't.
He launched his own news.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Really?
It's like, Trump is great and the economy is doing swell.
But that's not puppies and kitties.
Yeah, but it's cute old Trumpy Wumpy.
Good look at him try.
Oh, maybe that should be his go-to to get out of all this. He should try to appear cute.
Well, he did that on the Japanese ad thing. I think back when he was being elected, there was, I think it was Japanese. There was an ad, and it was just little Japanese teenagers just praising Trump for being so great and stuff.
Oh, I want a chibi Trump. Good.
Yes, there was a chibi jump.
I hope
think.
he's cheese flavored.
He's kind of scratch and sniff. He's scratching me.
Yeah.
Smells like Cheetos.
Oh no, I've scratched this too much. There's no stink left. Okay, that's enough politics.
No, yeah, moving on.
Let's move. So back to Nintendo. So Nintendo had a decent showing at PAX.
Yep.
And this is PAX West. And they had a little sizzle reel of their Nindies coming up. Nindies being Nintendo Indies because, well, why not? It's right there. It's a pun that's right there. Go for it, whatever, Nintendo. They showed a bunch of stuff. Probably the biggest game of note was a reveal of the new No More Heroes game.
Yeah.
No Man's
This is the
Sky.
reveal of No Man's Sky.
I almost did it, yeah. Travis Strikes Again, which is so far a really, really interesting sounding project.
Okay, so how is this anything like original?
Don't know.
Okay.
What we do know, is that this is a collaborative game. So Suda51 is directing again. He hasn't actually directed in quite a while. So he's in charge. You're playing Travis. The trailer, which is just a cinematic, is showing him playing a video game at home. In fact, it shows him playing Hotline Miami. And then enemy kicks in the door and they have a fight and blah, blah, blah. So backtrack, if you don't know
No Man's Sky.
More Heroes. It was a game where basically you bought a lightsaber off the internet. You wanted to become an assassin, and then you fought all these assassins. But between it, you had to do all these shitty jobs. And in the first game, it sucked because you literally had to do shitty jobs like mowing lawns, and it was boring. And it was funny for a while, but then it was just tedious. In the second game, they fixed it up by making the jobs fun arcade games. So there's a precedent for this. So I don't know how much of the original third-person fighting is going to be in this. Maybe none. Maybe some.
You said they were collaborating. Who are they collaborating with?
They're collaborating with, Devolver Digital is involved because we've got the devs of Hotline Miami and the devs of Shovel Knight and a few others on there that just skip my mind right now. So they will be, these two characters, at least for part of the story, will be fighting inside a video game and moving between different video games.
Interesting.
Which is like, why? Sure,
See,
great.
Like when you, because if you say Suda51, I'm like, like I'm sure it's gonna be interesting, but I don't know. What it's gonna
It
be.
doesn't necessarily mean it's going to play great.
But
or
when you say
anything.
Suda51 collaboration,
yes,
then that opens up something interesting.
yes, and I'm very interested to see what comes out of this. It's an exciting little project.
Yeah.
Cool. And then other games in the sizzle reel. We're not going through everything, just some few ones that jumped out at us. These aren't Switch exclusives. Some of them are, some of them aren't. I'm not differentiating. They just were showing them off. They, whatever's exclusive and console exclusive and all that bullshit. Nah. Meat Boy Forever, showing that off. It's still coming.
Yep.
Last I heard, it played real bad, but that was a year or two ago.
The gameplay looked alright. It looks like something I'd never play.
I think the weird thing is, so it's Meat Boy, but it's an auto runner.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's auto. And it's made by Team Meat, but Edmund's not involved.
No.
So it's like, but Team Meat's two people. Is it really Team Meat? It's just a thing. He just licensing a name.
All I'm asking is, where's my Mugenics?
Oh, that's cancelled. That's
Not-
dead.
It's not cancelled. It's just
Oh, no.
on hold.
Yeah, it's not cancelled. It's just
it's-
not in development anymore.
Or will ever be released.
It had that good song.
It did.
Mugenics.
If you take your cat and rub it on a cat, and then the first cat gets real fat, that's Mugenics, wasn't it?
Something like that. Yeah.
That game was going to be so good.
Was it?
Yes.
We're certainly going to have cats in it.
I think you have to take the no longer in development and we're not planning to continue development thing as maybe it wasn't a very good game. It may have literally just been picking up a cat, rubbing it on another cat, and then another
That's what I
cat
want.
comes out.
It would be a good little touch game.
Just getting two cats and just rubbing them together.
Good little mobile game played on the bus.
Good little mobile game. Those don't exist. Oh no, Dartawing exists.
Oh,
But
First game that was ever good game that ever came out on mobile.
Oh.
That's like
That's
that wasn't
not
that was bullbiting that I meant.
You did a good game, James.
Did.
I mean, like, it's good.
But no, Dartawing I would say is better.
Dartawing's a very good game.
Yes.
Dartawing is like a game. It's game. Dartawing's not a mobile game. It's a regular game that happens to be on mobile. I'm not digging myself out of this hole.
It's completely free.
It is.
So
We never
says
spoke about it.
Astro
On this
Attack.
thing.
You
It's
should,
true.
you should download it,
Yeah. Go get it.
please.
Dartawing's a more robust thing. Has a campaign and single story.
Yeah.
And
Astro
it's
Attack's just the best short
Infinite
burst
Space
fun
Invaders.
you could ever have. There we go. Saved it.
Thanks, buddy. You dug up, stupid.
followed only by Bailey Skater, the greatest skateboarding since Downhill Jam.
Thank you.
I actually really like Downhill Jam.
Yeah, Downhill Jam's a good game.
That's a good game, yeah. People were talking about Excite Truck recently, and they were talking about how no one really played it. I'm like, fuck you, I played the hell out of that game. It's the best game. No, it wasn't the best game, but it was still fun. Okay, other games in the sizzle reel. Battle Chef Brigade, which is exciting because it's a mixture of cooking and having to fight and gem matching. Because you have to go out into the wilderness and fight creatures to get ingredients. Then you make the recipes with a gem matching game, and then it's Iron Chef.
You could add
It's
some
crazy.
cute girls in, and it could be Honey Pop with you try and make the meals for the girls.
So it's a dating game as well?
Yeah,
Dating in there.
that would be amazing.
I'm down for that.
You
Down to date.
literally.
Honey Cook.
Okay,
Honey Chef.
Celeste is coming out on Switch. That's the from the Towerfall Ascension dev coming out. Single player. Hardcore platformer, looks cool. Golf Story is still coming, which is, I reckon, it's
Game of the year?
still real high on my anticipated list. Like bloody, it was Mario Golf RPG. That's which name is what? That's still one of the best freaking portable games I've ever played. Morphe's Law, which
It was really cute. The shooter where when you shoot the limbs, you steal the mass.
Yes. So we actually seen this around before, but it's coming to Switch now, and it's a 4v4 multiplayer game where if I was to shoot James in the arm, his arm would get little and my arm would get big.
And you can shoot them in the butt and get big butts.
Have a big butt. And what because I was just showing it off before the show, so because in the trailer it doesn't really convey what this does.
Yeah.
So the very basic balance thing is someone who's better becomes a bigger character and they're a bigger target. Someone who's failing is smaller target. So it has a bit of balance built into it with that. But where it becomes really key is that the parts of your body which have been modified actually change your abilities. So if your legs get real big, you can jump very high. And that sort of stuff is kind of fun. Like just these systems that build up and will make just the flow of the match change as you're playing, which is fun. And like a little character ran through a door that a big character couldn't get
because it could
through
go the
and
other way
stuff
as well.
like that.
So if you're losing, you might have some advantage
Yeah,
as well.
yeah. So I was saying I think it will suffer the fate of most multiplayer indie games where it'll have struggled to find a big enough audience.
Because I'd be unlikely to get something like this on Switch.
Yes, this is a PC game to me.
Yeah, I'd get it on PC.
And it is on PC.
Yeah.
So thanks for showing it off, Nintendo, but buy it on PC.
Thanks.
Yeah. The most surprising game, which I did not know was getting it, they have Mom Hid My Game.
Oh, yeah. So
which...
it's a Japanese mobile game, which is about... it's just like a little touchscreen game where you have to tap it to find where Mum has hit your Nintendo DS.
Yeah, it'll give you a scene, and like the very first screen might have, here's a couch and a curtain, and you touch the curtain and it opens up, and your game's behind it.
But don't tap on the thing that has Mum, because then Mum will...
she'll scold you and you have to try again.
Now, the thing about it is it's barely a game. It's a series of screens.
They're amazing. Each game is about 15 minutes long, and they're free, and they're great.
Yeah, they're really entertaining. But I don't know how this turns into a retail product.
Neither do I.
Yeah.
It'll either be one of the stupidest ports ever made, at which point, because I've never given the company money, but I've really enjoyed a lot of their games, maybe I'd do it to give them some money. But man, they've got to expand it a lot to turn it into a paid product.
Yeah. And there was nothing that I saw in that game that made me think that they were particularly great developers or designers.
No.
It was just an entertaining little
very
concept.
rough. It's things like people wanted an ad-free version of it where they could pay. But the problem was that in some of the puzzles, the ads were part of the puzzles. So they couldn't give you an ad-free version.
Yeah.
Otherwise, there'd just be randomly an ad in the middle of a puzzle that made no sense. So that will be fun to see. Or terrible to see, I guess. Stardew Valley is still coming out. Listening to them talking about the other day, it's still projected to come out this year. And they said sooner than we think, but still no release date.
I still want an Animal Crossing though.
Yeah, that'll be there one day. We still got to see the mobile Animal Crossing game as well.
That one.
Yeah. Who knows what it will be? Probably substandard. Oh, maybe not.
Well,
I mean, their mobile stuff's been interesting.
Yeah, like Fire Emblem is done really well.
Yeah, Mario Run
still
I actually
play
think
it.
is real good.
Yeah, Cheryl's still playing that. She plays the shit out of it.
Yeah, it's a good bus game.
There's a huge community for it as well.
Yeah, I've heard about them. I haven't really joined them though because I'm not that good.
SteamWorld Dig 2 is coming out this year
is
still.
that a little hidden gem
September, I
from-
think it's coming out, which means, So it's like
It's
this
good
month.
because I didn't really like the SteamWorld
Heist.
Yeah, wasn't really
not
my
a big
thing.
fan of it. No.
Yeah, but SteamWorld Dig was a little piece of fun on the 3DS. I'm looking forward to this.
And then just some little games. There was this game Light Fingers, which
I didn't understand.
you
what
didn't
it
know.
was.
Yeah. You've got to actually go and watch a gameplay of it to get it. It's kind of like building a tabletop campaign
Okay.
physically in a game world in front of you whilst you play.
Okay.
So it's sort of like Go Hand of Fate, except instead of cards, it's actually just playing out tiles on this like circular grid. And then it's like monsters to fight, obstacles to overcome, and then there's all these random elements that go in there. It seems really interesting, something that I want to follow more of, but I don't have a lot of detail on now. And it's got a nice sort of tilt shift, miniature sort of style to it. It's like, yes, if miniatures could be real and this is how you played tabletop games, this is what it would be. And it's almost like the way that things fold out reminds me of like the Room games and stuff like that. It's like, here's a table, but the drawer comes out and then it's a dungeon underneath the table and stuff like that. So it seems inventive.
Yeah.
So it's worth following, I would say. And the last little one was just a action platformer called Dandara, which again doesn't really show off why it's interesting in its clip. If you look into what the game is, you don't get to run around in this game. You can only launch yourself from platform to platform.
Okay.
So sort of think like VVVVVV,
Yeah.
except I think it's twin stick. So you actually have to aim at the next place you want to go and then launch yourself towards
So you
it.
kind of leap towards it.
I think you're more teleporty.
Oh,
between
okay.
it. But it makes it a different kind of... It's very combat focused. So
because I do turn off a little bit when I see pixel platformers these
Yes,
days.
yes,
There's been
yes.
an awful lot of them.
Yeah. And if they don't show what the interesting mechanic is straight up, it's like, well, what am I even watching? Like in the Sizzle trailer, which we watched, it's just someone shooting some guns and some bullets going around. It's like 5 seconds all up of 4 different scenes, and what the hell did you get? But it does have a really unique movement mechanic, and that could be fun. And that's all they pretty much showed for
Isn't there
Nintendo.
a Nintendo Direct
Tomorrow,
Yeah.
yes.
Well,
Which
today.
yesterday?
but-
Yeah, today. Yeah. I'm going to release this tomorrow.
So
forget what day of the
you're
week it
releasing
is.
it today?
No, I'm releasing it 2 weeks ago.
Hi, future.
It has already been released in the
Yeah.
future.
Were we handsome?
Brought to you by
and
David
pretty?
Lynch.
Yeah?
Yeah,
You love David Lynch.
so good.
You loved your peaks, your twinned peaks.
New Twin Peaks was so good. Ending is so much like fuck you, but so good at the same time. Oh, I just want to spoil it to everyone. And then I'd spoil it, and the people that weren't watching anyway would still be like, I don't know what you're spoiling.
Turns out they were all dead already.
Maybe everyone's always alive.
Forever.
Forever, yeah. I don't know. Let's just drink some coffee. Twin Peaks is good,
I've
but
heard so.
don't watch season 3. Like, you'll just be lost.
Yeah.
Just start at season 1,
Yeah.
then season 2, then the movie, then read 2 books, then watch season 3, then follow some other things.
And this is
around,
why I had no
and
problem
then-
with you spoiling it for me.
Then
'cause this will
read
never
another
happen.
book that's coming out soon.
Oh, actually, you mean you've actually got to literally read a book.
2 books. Oh, and make sure when you watch the movie, you then watch the version of the movie with all the extra bits that were cut into it. I think it's another extra hour and a half of footage.
Great. You know,
James, let's go.
yeah, you're not selling me on this Twin Peaks.
It's a real time commitment.
Let's go dancing on the peaks.
I don't have anything against reading. It's just
Let's go dancing on the peaks. Maybe we'll find something to eat. Some pie and coffee. Dancing ladies. Oh, let's go walking on the peaks. Anyway. That was what Jess and I used to sing when we binge watched the first 2 seasons.
Your reaction to that is really like, that's the Twin Peaks experience right there. He just gave it to you.
Yeah.
So is that like the
Except
theme
imagine that for
song,
10
or-
minutes. Yeah.
Is that like the theme song?
Yeah,
or
that's
what?
the theme. That's the song, but they don't have lyrics. But we
So
gave them
we
lyrics.
gave it lyrics.
Yeah,
It had one song as a theme.
it was good.
Yeah.
It's got some great music in the last
Yeah.
season.
Is it the same theme?
At one point, because every episode has a band playing a song, and at one point, Nine Inch Nails just turn up and play an entire song in the middle of the episode. It's like, thank you, Trent Reznor.
he was just on set one day.
I think they're pretty good friends.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe I might,
No,
try.
don't. You honestly don't have to.
This is a rabbit hole that
yeah.
if when you go down, you got to be ready to go down it.
I'm bored anyway.
It's pretty good. Anyway, video games.
Video games, eh?
I know I said some things at the beginning of this episode, but I want to talk about other things. Can I talk about a robot named Fight?
Yeah, you wanted to really...
Very well.
Okay.
This is the one that gets us the views, right?
Yeah, everyone's upset. Tell us about a robot named Fight.
Yeah.
We've been waiting for it. So this turned up in my inbox saying, "Hey, do you like Metroidvania platformers?" I'm like, "Yes, I do."
Mm-hmm.
And it said, "Well, here's a trailer, and then tell us if you want to hear." Like, this. Yeah, that sure is a Super Metroid ripoff with kinda rough art.
But you do like Metroidvania.
Yeah, then I kept watching the trailer and I'm like, there's a few interesting mechanics in there. What is it about? Yeah, send us a key. I'll have a look and it can't hurt. So I loaded it up and it is, oh boy, did they follow Super Metroid.
Yeah.
They were, we want the map to work the same. We want the movement to feel pretty much the same. We want the controls to be the same.
Have
we want
controller support?
Yeah. Control support. We want a lot of the enemy movements to be based on enemies from Metroid. We want like the backtracking and everything. This is and it's sort of in a weird world where everything's like Cronenbergy meat monsters and shit. It's like and I go through and I fight a couple of bosses. I'm like, this is pretty solid. I've got a bunch of extra abilities and I'm going through and it has a decent brisk pace to it. And then I died. And started. There's no saving because it starts a new game, and this world's entirely randomized. This is
It's
a roguelike.
Okay,
and
but you couldn't tell.
Not really. No.
Okay, well that's
I've put a couple of hours into it now.
Wow. Okay.
And whilst I'm starting to see a few of the same pieces around, it's even less so than Dead Cells or anything. It has a lot of variety to it, and it also, much like Dead Cells, it changes the environment art quite regularly, except it's Metroidvania, so you then are building a map that you then go back through once you unlock abilities.
So their map generation takes into account all the backtracking and all that.
Yes.
That's interesting, yeah.
And so you'll be stuck in an area and you'll go, and you'll find a new ability, and there are a lot of abilities. It's not just like, you always get like the double jump first.
Yeah.
You might never get
So
it.
it's
You always
just
get
like Isaac? Binding of Isaac?
Yeah, a little bit, yeah. And so as the more you play, the more optional content you unlock of like, now you can find this weapon, now you can get this weapon, this weapon. And then it builds the levels around what weapons will be available in those areas. So it's just, so it starts to get quite complex, really, when you think about it as an algorithm. I mean, and because it still plays well. Like, I can't get through here, I'll investigate the area, and then now I find the only item that does that. Great, I can now move forward. And that might even not be the path forward. That might just be a sidetrack that then takes me to another weapon that I then backtrack to where I was. And I'm like, this is super cool. My only problem with it is that it's like Super Metroid length, basically. I went and fought this like giant boss monster and I go, this is basically the end of the game, I guess. Nope.
And so when
as far as I'm concerned, nowhere near.
Maybe it could just be endless.
I don't think it's endless because it seems to have a progression. It does randomize the order of bosses, but it seems to have like some big bosses at points and everything. And the game gets harder as you go along. So you get tougher enemies and the environment becomes more dangerous and stuff like that. But it's also, it's in no way a linear path. Like you get into rooms, it goes, this room has 6 exits and half of them actually lead somewhere else.
Yep.
And
so what kind of meta progression is there?
You unlock more things, including things like the most recent one was now when you start a new game, you will spawn with a random energy weapon or something like that.
Okay.
So you actually will start improving your base stats, base equipment at least as well, which is good because you don't always want to start at the same bullshit gun and everything. So you get it. Just as I say, I've put in sort of 2 and a bit hours into it, and at the moment, I'm not going to say it's the next Dead Cells because it doesn't quite have that level of polish. It certainly doesn't have the visual polish of a game like that. But I mean, they put in incredible work into that. That's a league of its own. But this works, and it plays like Super Metroid. Like if you play Metroid, you know how to play this game, and it has a whole bunch of new ideas and a few bosses that are surprising. And it has a lot of different equipment, and most of my runs are about half an hour at the moment, which for a roguelike feels a little bit too long, especially since I'm not finishing the game in that time.
Yeah.
It needs that Binding of Isaac thing where, like, when you first beat Binding of Isaac, it takes you like 20 minutes to
Yeah.
get to the end. But then the end of the game moves. And then by the end, when you're actually trying to do some of the hard stuff,
45?
easy. I think I spent over an hour on some runs of Isaac. But that's okay, because by that point, I'm invested in it.
Yeah.
In this, I think they kind of needed like some earlier goals.
Is this
and
an early access game or is
No,
it out?
just released.
Okay.
Yep.
It also sounds like it needs like, you can switch it off and pick it back up.
You can.
You can?
Yes, it does. It does autosave as you go along. So even though it's a randomly roguelike and everything.
When you said there's no saving, that's where.
Yes.
Yep.
There's no save rooms like in Metroid. Sorry,
Yep.
that's what so I should have clarified with that. It does save as you go along. You can just quit the game, start up again, you'll start in the same room. I have lost like 2 or 3 rooms progress before, but two, 3 rooms progress, I mean, what does it matter? It's,
Okay, I might have to give this one a try.
yeah, I think it is a real surprising little game, and I'm glad I gave it a shot. Yeah. Yes, a robot named Fight.
Okay.
Yes.
Interesting.
We'll tag the devs, I guess.
No, I don't want them to feel embarrassed. It's like,
With your glowing review.
Paul, he's talking about how good I can, and Paul's saying it. Oh, he's so dreamy.
I don't know if you're being mean to me or not.
No.
Well, no, I'm being mean to me.
Yeah.
Because like I'm an ugly son of a gun. No one says Paul's dreamy.
Wouldn't say gun.
Oh, I'm ugly son of a big titted teacher.
There we go.
And a socially awkward. Anyway, yes, so that was my robot named Fight. Amy,
Hi.
you have very recently purchased Disgaea 5.
I did.
And you have played a very little bit of it, but you
2
like
hours
it more
probably.
than you did the demo.
Yes, I did. I don't know why. It's great. I don't know what to really say.
What do you like about Disgaea 5? Because have you played other Disgaeas?
I have not. So this is me coming from playing a lot of Fire Emblem over the past couple of months, and so I just wanted to change a pace.
And you're still like, nah, fuck those rabbits. Nah, not doing it.
Nah, I just can't be bothered with it.
It's very good.
I was going to pick it up when I picked up Disgaea, but Disgaea was pre-owned, and like, oh, it's $10 off. Why not?
You can't have 2 turn-based tactical games at once.
No, actually doesn't let you install them.
Yeah. It actually
It says pick one.
Yeah.
Motherfucker.
if you're playing one, the other one actually just deactivates and will burn you severely if you try to touch it.
Yeah. Weird
So
feature to
I
put in,
went
but
for the one with the cute anime girls, and it's great.
Are you saying that Rabbid Peach isn't a cute anime girl?
she's not a cute
she
anime
is.
girl.
I wish that the figurine at EB was cheaper. I would.
That
pick it
wasn't
up.
$47 or whatever.
Oh no, it was 58 or something.
Oh Jesus!
It's like
I was picking a big number.
it's.
They're
not
big.
even
They're
that-
big
But
figurines.
it's just so cute. But there's amiibo-sized ones as well for like more than an amiibo costs as well.
Yeah. They're Ubisoft's premium range.
The size of an amiibo looks like an amiibo, just doesn't have the base in it.
So, have you encountered? Is Lahal? Is there a character called Lahal in this one?
No, I haven't encountered it.
Because I don't like. I played a bit of the first one.
Mm-hmm.
You loved it for a very brief time,
Yeah.
and then I thought like you were the Disgaea guy, and then I
Yeah.
found out later that you certainly were not.
No, because they're pretty brutal games.
Yeah.
But I always really liked the music
Yes.
in Disgaea. The character design, like the
Yes.
writing was really good.
It's silly. It's fun.
Yeah. The problem I've had with it, it's kind of the same thing that it's been since Disgaea 1. If you have not played a game
not.
since Disgaea, then it's probably fine
Yes.
to jump into. But you're in for a treat of a game that's huge. If you want a giant game that you can put potentially thousands of hours into, that's Disgaea.
Well, I looked up how long to beat, and I think it was like 58 hours or something.
That's not including the item world.
Yeah, exactly.
That's where the it's a big game.
I was gonna say something. They come out with a bunch of extra content because it's both the DLC from the original number 5 as well as I think there's just new Switch content. For some
Just to
reason.
interrupt, so just move a little bit closer to your mic. Thanks, Amy.
Yep.
Okay.
I think there's just new content for Switch for some reason, and so I went and looked at it and like extra content, cool. It gives me an extra 1 million units for just buying the game, as well as a bunch of extra characters, which I think they've been leveled correctly to sort of sit with my team. I haven't used any yet,
Okay.
but yeah,
Cool. I'm curious to see what you think of it over time.
yes, I only put 2 hours in, which is barely anything.
Which is that's definitely scratching the surface of.
I've got too
of
many
Disgaea.
JRPGs to play, and I picked up another.
They're real time sinks. I really want someone to make like ports of JRPGs which are like the succinct versions.
You want like Western ports?
Yeah. I want the abridged, like the abridged version. Oh, that would be.
They just need like
there could be a market of that because I don't want just like someone doing like a video of it. Like I still want to play the game a bit.
You know what they need?
Give me the abridged game.
They need parent mode. Just aim for people with kids.
Yeah.
And like this is the one you play when you just want to get through it quick. Like you want to see the content. We're gonna like really bump up the the XP that you get. Like this is for time poor people. This is the mode for you.
That's what I liked about Bravely Default because I started playing that a little while ago again, and because you can turn on and off the enemies, you can just sort of run around, turn off the difficulty as well. It's
nice having those options.
Yeah.
You know what I love in Mario plus Rabbids?
Oh yes.
Kingdom Rush, Kingdom Battles. If you don't get my terrible joke from last week, just the fact that other games do this as well, but just when there's experience, it's just everyone in the party gets the experience. Because when I first was leveling up skills in the game, I was like, oh, I've got like 50 points, and I guess I'll spend 20 on them, and then I realized that they all had 50 points. It's like bonanza, and because that's what I always think it's shitty in RPGs because you just end up with a team that is all powered up, and then you've got your sides which they're not powered up, so fuck them. I'll never use them.
Those are always my problems in Fire Emblem.
Yeah,
because I'll have like 3 characters I love using. The avatar and probably 1 or 2 little side characters which I've grown attached to. Then I've just got the rest of the side characters which I can't use at all. Which
means you sort of have to do like the old Pokemon thing, which is just make sure that the shit characters in the party as well, and move them out of harm's way so they still get the experience and they get up there. It's like, just fucking experience shared, do it. It just is it fun just juggling that thing around? I guess in a way it means you're actually going on to battles with one less person than you actually need so it makes it a little bit tougher, I guess. But and just grinding shit. I did that so much in Shining Force 2 because I needed it. I needed my little monster Woodle to get strong.
Get up there.
He was so strong, and then he became irrelevant. Because he was very susceptible to magic, I believe, and the end game was all magic.
More magic-y.
That's sad.
Yeah, stupid.
Well, I guess while we're talking about turn-based strategies,
no, we can't do that segue.
Can't really.
No, it's impossible.
Oh, well,
okay, fine. We can talk about Rock of Ages 2.
Yeah. So how is Rock of Ages 2?
No, fuck it. You talk about your game.
Yeah. So I picked up XCOM 2, War of the Chosen.
War of the Chosen.
It's such a good subtitle that you remembered it without having to
look at that piece of paper at all.
Yeah. About the only negative I've heard is what I just said there. That subtitle's very forgettable.
Yeah. So I've been playing it on my Steam Link. I finally plugged it in.
Oh, cool. What a world you're living in
because I think with XCOM, it actually makes a fantastic couch game.
Yep, okay.
With a controller. I discovered some of the eccentricities of Steam Link and controllers. I was loading up because I've got a wireless Xbox One controller.
Yeah.
And you can't connect that to your Steam Link. So unless you plug it in, like it doesn't, you can't.
I thought they released a dongle now.
Maybe there has. At least when I was experimenting with it, I didn't.
Test well, if you don't have the dongle,
then I don't have the dongle.
Yeah. Oh, is that not one of the newest One controllers? Xbox One controllers.
Anyway, I couldn't hook it up.
I know they have Bluetooth, the new ones.
Oh no,
the
okay.
New ones do, yeah.
Okay, no, this is one of the original ones.
Okay.
So I just had it running through directly on my PC.
Yeah.
And I load up the game in Steam Link, and I can't select the controller. And I figured out what it was, is if you go into your Steam settings, and you have enable Xbox One controller mode, it kind of spoofs it, and then fucks with the one that's attached to your computer.
Okay.
So that was like this I found a thread on it. Like it was this really obscure little thing that was getting in the way of me. Once I turned off Xbox One control support, it started working.
Oh.
So anyway, so I've played a fair bit of it. I actually feel bad that I haven't loaded it up because I've been playing so much basically Destiny 2.
Destitute.
Because it has done so many things that have made it a better experience for me. The very first thing is XCOM 2
doesn't crash as much.
It's got a lot of time limits in XCOM 2. Like missions have timers. There's the Avatar project, which is like the global timer for it.
Yeah.
When you start the game, you go into advanced settings and you go double timers, please. And it just doubles them all.
Options for people that want them.
Yeah.
Actually, you know how... sorry for segueing again. I just love a segue.
Oh, you do.
You know how people... Dead Rising was a big thing of like people that like the timers, people that hate the timers. And so they took away the timer and they just killed the actual feeling of the game
Yeah.
and just made a shit game. Yeah, why not just double timers?
Yeah. Like, because I still want the
Yeah.
pressure. Like, I still like the
like
pressure.
having a guide and having
Yeah.
things that can change and like something that has some forward momentum
Yeah.
is great, but maybe not quite as much pressure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, like...
It's a times two. It's easy mathematics.
Yeah.
The computer can just do it like snap.
And
it's a calculator.
Yeah. XCOM is a game which you're not meant to get the first time through.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like you play it and you figure it out. I don't want to do that. I prefer to just double the length of the game and just let me get through first go.
Yeah.
And then I won't play it again.
Yeah.
Like, that's good. Like, you know, so that's the first thing I really like that. They've taken a lot from other games.
Mm-hmm.
They've taken stuff from Darkest Dungeon. So the characters you get, they get fatigued, and they also develop like mental illnesses.
Okay.
So if you use them, like one of the guys, he got xenophobia. So whenever he see a sectoid, like one of the really alien-looking ones, he'd have to do a check. Otherwise, he'd freak out. So you get this thing where like you have your more powerful characters, but they build up these neuroses and things like that.
But can you send them to the monastery to flagellate themselves?
I haven't unlocked anything to fix them yet.
Yeah.
There might be something there. I'm not sure. So
Just watch Dr. Phil for a while.
They've got this cool thing called bonding, where you will basically get a best friend, and then when you're teamed with that person, they can kind of give them a bonus. But then
get
if
high fives?
They get high fives. Yes. But if they die, then the bondmate will freak out because their best friend just died.
Aww.
So there's like they've done a lot. Like XCOM is really good at like emergent storytelling, and they've added just more things in there to really bring those forward more. They've added like these new factions for like the resistance groups. Like there's different resistance groups in the world that have like very unique ideology, and you got to kind of manage these, kind of getting in contact with them and getting them to play nice and things like that. They've added in a new zombie mode, like zombie missions. Like one of the things I really noticed is I've done a bunch of missions now, and they generally feel really different. Like it doesn't feel like I'm just doing the same thing over and over and over again. So they have stuff like, they call them the Lost.
Yeah.
And they're basically zombies. But if you kill them with a headshot, they give you another action. So if you have a lot of them, it actually becomes more about ammunition management than hitting them, because you can kill them, that's fine, but there's a lot of them, so you have to do that. So they've added enough stuff in there that really keeps it engaging. But probably one of my favorite things they added is this thing called inspiration for research. So one of the big problems I always have with XCOM, especially first playthrough, there's all this research you have to do. I have no idea what the best path is. I just see like, these are the 6 things you can pick, and you pick one. I'm like, I don't know, armor? I don't know. Well, now what it'll do is every now and then it's like, oh, your researchers have been inspired. So maybe you should just study robots, because just saying might be helpful. And so really, even though I've got a bit of flexibility with how I'm researching, it just gives me a little nudge. Little push. Hey James, maybe you should research this.
Bit of a falcon kick.
Bit of a falcon kick to the research.
Is that what it's called? It's not falcon punch.
Falcon punch. I think he does both.
Yeah, but okay.
Yeah. Really good. Like no, like it's actually added an awful lot to the experience.
And all the stability and just general engine improvements
runs
they did.
a lot better.
They didn't roll back into the base game. They just sort of said, fuck you.
Yeah.
Which I thought was kind of a dick move. But
Yeah. There's new characters in there which are good. Like they have some characters which actually have 100% chance to hit, which is nice.
Real Rabbids move there.
I still have had the occasional someone's right next to someone with an 87% chance to hit, and then
the way that animates is always fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
They need to animate like pratfalls and shit.
Yeah, just like you just fall over or drop your gun or something
it's
like that.
Oh no,
Yeah.
I'm an idiot. That's like just every once in a while, like there's a banana peel on the field or something. It's like, oops.
Yeah.
So have you made up any little stories about your characters?
I actually haven't had too many die on me yet.
Aww.
Like I try not to save scum too much.
Yep.
Because I think what makes XCOM good is you want to fail and be able to roll with it. But there have been times where it's like, I just kind of misunderstood what the objective was. So I was like, like I actually had one mission which I thought I was about to end spectacularly. Like I had one turn left. I was fighting the Chosen. Like the Chosen, the bit they stole from Mordor.
Blood.
No, from Blood. They stole from Lord of the Rings, the Mordor one.
Middle
Earth.
Earth.
What's he?
Well, I don't know what you're talking about.
The Nemesis
game.
system. They have
It's like the Nemesis
It is,
system.
yeah, 100% the Nemesis
yeah.
system. Yeah.
I wasn't expecting you were going there.
No,
so
it will have the
I thought
Nemesis
you were just
system.
trying to talk about like there are these creatures and they're
No, there's 3 enemies that are in there.
Yeah.
Which you can't kill.
Oh yes, I have heard about this.
Yeah.
So it's not quite like the Nemesis because they're set characters, aren't they? But
They are set characters, but they will rock up and they will they have weaknesses and strengths, and they learn from you and they change over time. So part of what you're also doing is dealing with these chosen to try and. Cause I think if you get to end game, you haven't dealt with them, then they become a real problem. So luckily, I have so many turns. Yeah, really fantastic. Like I think I enjoyed XCOM 2, but this has elevated it to like another kind of level of experience. Like it's really good, like really, really good.
Okay.
Even with the shitty missing. It made me realize that I really prefer it than Rabbids because the metagame in it is so good.
Oh yeah, there is no metagame in Rabbids, and that's they've like other than just superficial similarities in the game, like they are very different.
They're very
games.
different things.
Yes. And if I'm going to sit down and want to play a round or something, I'll probably do that. If I'm going to sit down and have an evening of it, probably XCOM's going to pull me in a bit deeper.
And it can end up with late nights with that game. I have to pull myself away from it when it starts to suck me in.
Oh, I put it in the intro, so we better say it. We finally finished Resident Evil 7.
Oh,
we
we
sat
did.
down and we played
Yeah.
that last half hour.
Yeah, we did finish that game.
Yep.
How was it?
It was fine.
Yeah, good Resident Evil.
And ending's a little bit.
Yeah, we had it on easy, so
It's true. It's true.
we
The
did-
easy may have made that last boss fight.
We also had a lot of
completely
guns at that point.
We had a shitload of ammo, and we had a lot of bombs.
Yeah,
Actually, we didn't really need to use those bombs, did we?
But it basically got to the shooty part, and it's like James can do this part because I'm pretty good at console shooters.
I just said, do you want to play the last bit? I didn't say, do you do the shooty part?
No, it wasn't the reason, but like
You're
I was
trying to make me look like I can't do the shooty?
But you can't.
I can do a shooty.
But like it made sense. Like it got.
So you miss a
shooty.
headshot.
But I enjoyed it. It's fun.
It's
Good Resident Evil.
good game. Yeah. Our assessment didn't change with the last half
No,
hour.
no.
Yeah. But yeah, I just need to put stuff in the intro. So there we go. We finished it. Rock of Ages 2. Finally.
yeah.
Everyone's been waiting.
The Monty Python tower defense game.
Yes, it is Rock of Ages. And that's fine.
Yeah.
It's kind of funny. The interface changes with the UI and everything. It's obviously very much set up as sort of, this is multiplayer focused. Like the single player is sort of, it's like, oh yes, this match and the enemy is a computer. It's instead of a person. But it's also incredibly robust, and it doesn't feel like that's janky. But it's just like, oh yeah, obviously they've just built this system so that they can try and encourage the community to go around it, which I still don't think they'll build because it's still Rock of Ages, and there's three of us. There's three of us that love it.
So it's tower defense, but
Yes.
also Super Monkey Ball.
Yes. So if you've never played Rock of Ages, where have you been?
I've been here.
So Rock of Ages is a world. You begin as Sisyphus.
And it's Terry Gilliam style.
All the cutscenes, and the game itself is very much based on Terry Gilliam's style from his Monty Python days. Lots of cutouts of paintings and stuff. It's the whole game is based very heavily on classical art. So each world you go to will be themed in different art styles. Like you might have a Renaissance style. You might have sort of based on Monet. I got mixed up between a champagne and a person.
I get those two mixed up all the time.
So you can have quite drastic visual styles applied to the levels as well as just the design of it. But the goal of the game is you are fighting off an opponent that's hidden in a fortress of some sort. They are at the bottom of a hill, you're at the top of the hill, and you're a boulder. And you have to roll down the hill and smash down their gates. And once you smash them down, you get to roll over them and squish them up a bit.
Yeah.
But wasn't Sisyphus the guy who had to push the boulder up the hill and
He
he never
did.
got there?
Yeah, he escapes from the beginning of the first game. He escapes from Hades, and he's pushing his boulder friend. So Sisyphus loves a roll, and so between each round, so you take rounds of rolling down and hitting the door. So between each of those rounds, you have money that you have some by default, but also you can then build mines and stuff on there. It's a top-down strategy game where you then have to place items to stop the enemy from rolling down and smashing down your door. Things that will knock them off the platforms, things that will drain their health and everything, and slow them down so that when they hit your door, They don't hit it with quite enough force to really do much damage. And they're doing the same thing to you.
So when the ball's rolling, do you have any control over it?
Yes.
Okay.
It can. It's full. Like it's. I guess monkey ball, but you're not turning the world. You're just pushing the boulder around. So I mean, it has kinetic energy. It's like, so if you get a long run up and there's a long jump that's not really the normal path, well, you can try and take it, and you'll get different abilities with the ball.
I get it. Rock of Ages.
Yeah. The subtitle's bigger and bolder.
That's good.
Yeah, it's a good pun. Yeah. So it's a really weird game, and the things that get put on the world are, by default, they're like, oh, here's some cows. Here's some towers that will shoot things and try to slow it down. Here's some walls, and then suddenly it's like here's a whale attached to a balloon. Here's like,
Poor whale.
They very much just go with absurdity, which is both, and stuff like that. It's like, oh yeah, it looks funny, but then it also becomes something you've actually got to navigate around and think about as you move. So levels start quite plain, and it takes about 3 rolls to knock down a door normally. It's like it might actually be quite hard to get down by the end, and you're trying to get that. So you're racing the other team to get your boulder down fast enough so that you can get enough turns to knock down their door and slow it down. So you're actually managing quite a lot of stuff. So it's a tower defense monkey ball racing game.
And does it feel like it deserves the 2? Like, does it feel like it's a full-fledged sequel?
Yes and no. It's more of the same, but they've obviously totally revamped the back end of everything. So I feel like it's more solid.
Yeah.
There's certainly a lot more just content and things going on. They've got a world map, almost Mario-ish style, where you roll around and you get more schematics for things and you get more items through that way. Visually, it's really, really nice. They've added some fun DLC. Like if you bought it I think it's still active now. If you buy it, you get Binding of Isaac inspired boulders and stuff, and that's fun. The first game was 360 age. This is just a newer version of it that looks prettier and is more solid. Yeah. It's not revolutionizing it. If you thought the first game was just a bit weird and unsatisfying, this is not going to satisfy you. It is the same game. But I've been enjoying my time with it. Yeah. It's more, and the thing is, honestly, like that's the joke we've been playing, isn't it? Nobody knows what fucking Rock of Ages is. It probably had 50,000 sales or something. It probably did not set the world on fire.
Made them enough money, they could do another one.
Yeah, well, I mean, they're a Chilean dev, so I think their costs are relatively small. But I mean, Ace Team, I love, like Xenoclash series, Tower of Deadly Monsters, and Rock of Ages, and the Abyss. Was it Abyss Odyssey? Is that the name? Like that was their Smash Brothers inspired roguelike.
Oh, I remember that thing. It actually came out, did it?
Yeah. It came out ages ago. It's not my favorite of theirs, but it's still a really interesting game. Like they're a great team. I for better or worse, I'll always check out their games. And Rock of Ages 2 is pretty tight, and it's ridiculous. Like the first people you fight are Adam and Eve, and you squish the shit out of them.
Nice.
Fuck you guys.
You like your absurdity.
I do love absurdity. I do like people that
It's
don't
all
take it too
Eve's fault.
seriously. Yeah, she was just doing the thing. She said, "Eat this banana."
Stupid.
Don't do that with a banana.
It's true. There is some argument that it might have been a banana. There's nothing historically that says an apple.
It's a fruit.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Although I suppose that would have been old school bananas, and those weren't really edible.
No.
They only became edible through cultivation.
I understand.
Through knowledge.
Oh, that's how it's...
That's...
It's actually propaganda from Big Banana.
The banana didn't bring us the knowledge. The knowledge brought us the banana.
Oh, Paul, you just realized the actual genius of the Genesis story.
We've cracked this shit wide open. We're through the looking glass now, people. Finally, we get some theology on this fucking show.
Trying for years.
Years and years. Okay, so a little bit of news.
Yeah,
a little bit of news.
Little bit of news.
Okay, Nintendo have announced that don't buy a SNES Mini from a scalper. There will be lots.
There more, and NES is coming back.
And that was that's the other bit. And in fact, they are going to relaunch the NES Mini. That won't be till next year, however, but. If you missed out, they are going to try and get everyone that wants one to get one.
Good.
It's good Nintendo.
Really?
Good Nintendo.
Good job, Nintendo.
Yes. As much as I understand there are problems with manufacturing, you have to make difficult choices sometimes. you did do bad.
Yeah. Oh,
You did a bad thing.
I know Target down Champside Ways got lots of signs up for, hey, come and pre-order it. We're
SNES?
Yeah, we're going to have heaps of them apparently.
Yeah.
So
I mean, but did you order one,
I
James?
pre-ordered. Yeah.
Yeah, like we pre-ordered one. Like we did it day one, but it wasn't like a mad rush.
Yeah.
I hummed and hawed on it for a while and said, I guess.
I think America has a shorter stick on this kind of thing.
Their whole setup is, there's a lot of pressure in America. There's a lot more people.
Yep.
And there's a lot more of it's a lot more management to get stuff out there. And who knows? I think the actual numbers were still unknown to a degree, so people had to keep it low and So
But
we'll
yeah,
see.
it's good,
We'll
it's
see.
good that they're going back, especially going back to the NES. I wasn't expecting that.
Yeah.
So Heat Signature is coming out soon. Do either remember what Heat Signature is?
It rings a bell, but
You know Gunpoint?
Yes.
Yes, so this is the developer of Gunpoint's follow-up game. He's been working on it for a while. It is very much a systems-driven space heist game. You go into these randomly designed ships and you do heists and you steal things. Now,
Similar like gameplay to Gunpoint.
no, pretty different.
Okay.
Pretty different. More, I was going to say more actiony, but no, you can't
I
pause
know
action.
what I was thinking about. I was thinking there was an Adventure Time episode that I watched recently with Heat Signature.
Okay.
I mean, easy to mix up. I mean, a cartoon episode and a video game. I mean, they're very simple things. So I bring this up merely because I thought it was interesting. Instead of having like a launch week discount or something like that, the launch week is the only time, because this is a somewhat roguelike game, that you can steal this one gun.
Oh, really?
And it's called like the everything gun or something. And what it does is it just grabs every movable item in the room and just shoots them at someone. So it'll like, if you're in a room with swords in it, it will throw swords at them.
That sounds cool.
If you've got a room with guns lying on the floor, it will throw the guns, and when they hit them, it'll just shoot the bullets out. So he says it's not a practical weapon, but if you want it, got to buy the game week one, and you've got to successfully steal it as well. So it's not just you can't just buy it and then have it in your inventory. And once you've unlocked it, it'll be in the game forever.
Yeah.
But only that 1 week.
That's a cute idea.
I'm like,
that.
Very,
fuck
very
you.
cute.
I wasn't going to buy it, but now I might.
And that's why it's a good idea.
It's a good idea, yeah. LA Noire has a port coming to PS4, Xbox One. It's getting a VR spin-off for PC, and it's coming to Switch. Yes. And it's $10 more expensive on the Switch, I believe.
course.
Because bullshit.
Yeah.
Nintendo.
I'm curious. LA Noire.
Do you own LA Noire?
I kind of want them to take out the
How much did you pay for LA Noire?
Probably like $10 or something.
I paid $3 for LA Noire many years ago.
I haven't bought it yet.
It's often given away for free.
You've probably got it in your Steam account.
I do.
Yeah.
I do. I might even have some spare copies on Humble or something. Like, it's an okay game. It's got some pros.
It's got some stuff. Like, the problem is that the interrogation stuff is the worst part of it.
Yeah, the main concept of it, this you're lying thing, is both inconsistent and not well done.
Yeah.
I mean, like, the actual capture is really well done, but
the
as a gameplay
the tech
mechanic,
is
it just
cool.
didn't work.
But there is a lot of other stuff in there that's really good. So that's why I'm like, nah. The VR one sounds potential. Like a spin-off sounds interesting. Like someone taking it. But the VR will probably
it'll probably only be the interrogation scenes of the original performances, which, as we've already pointed out, were flawed.
Yeah.
Having the best motion tech in the world doesn't help if your like direction and acting is shit.
Yeah. And are they lying or are they nervous?
Or are they a bad actor?
Yeah. Or they're a bad actor. I don't know. It could be any.
And then you say, I'm just going to press him a little. Fuck you!
Yeah.
Like, it's just like, no, I didn't say accuse. I'm like, you tried to kill him. I just meant like, say, do you want to go over that again? I'm pretty sure. No. Straight, like, it was so inconsistent in what those prompts meant. It meant you didn't really feel you were in control of what was going on.
No.
But yeah, if you really want it again, you can buy that along with Rogue Trooper.
It's a bundle.
Speaking of things coming back again, Akami is officially coming out for PS4, Xbox One, and PC.
Okay, so you can buy it for.
You can buy it
fourth
again.
time? Yeah.
I've never bought an Okami game, so sure.
Are you going to buy it this time?
Probably.
I'm going to see if that happens.
Eventually.
I always feel like these re-releases are just to milk money back out of the original people.
Maybe.
It's like,
Though the only version I've bought. No, I think I have bought 2 copies. I think I got it on PS2, and I'm pretty sure I got it on Wii.
I got it on Wii. That was my first version.
Yeah.
And I think I've got the HD release
And
on PS.
I've never finished
3.
it.
I haven't finished it either. I have
Yeah,
to
which
admit.
if I've bought it twice and never finished it, it probably says I don't really like it, and I probably shouldn't buy it again.
You know what? Buy it on Switch. It's got the painting interface. It would be a good
So
interface
pretty.
for it.
Yeah. Oh well, that's what it gets by on. Like it's well, I mean, if all
Hey, and
it's
it
a
was
good
used as the
game.
art of that sushi restaurant I
Yes.
went to.
Yeah.
It was very exciting. Okay, in some fun news, a new, well, let's call it a mod, but it seems much more than a mod, of Super Mario 64 just came out. It's the multiplayer version. Up to, I think it's 12 players simultaneously. It's
very cute.
Mario. And the amount of work in it seems insane because I can't speak from experience. I haven't played it yet. You can just go download it. But
Before Nintendo gets rid of it.
yeah, get it now. Well, it's on torrents now. It's never going
The
away.
ROM's out. Yeah.
Yeah,
Pandora's box has
once it's
been
released,
opened.
it's out.
Yeah.
But it seemed to be that when I was watching video of people playing it, if someone runs into a painting and then you run into them, then you join them in that instance of that world. But there could still be people back in the hub world and potentially in other paint. Like, it seems so open and just
Yeah.
like building a. It's like the game wasn't built like this. How are you supporting this? How much work did you do? This seems insane. Why isn't it just like, okay, we're going to do this level now, and everyone's in a lobby and it goes in? It doesn't seem to work like that. It
Yeah.
seems that you actually enter levels in real time.
Wow.
I don't know how. I
don't know how
was
this
just wondering
works.
if they do some weird thing where like they spin up a version of the game for every single player.
I think they must.
And then they do something to synchronize some of the elements across.
It seems insane.
Yeah.
I need to play it. And like, there's interaction between all the players. You can. It's not. You're not just Mario. You can also be Wario, Luigi, Waluigi, Peach.
Yoshi?
So
No, maybe I can't remember if Yoshi. You can be who's Galaxy Chick? I'm looking at it right there. Rosalina and Toad. So they put in a bunch of models that weren't there before, and it seems to work. Like, great work.
So can
Yeah.
we play this like internet? Or do you
Yeah.
have to be okay.
Yeah, I think it's internet only.
someone needs to write a blog
I mean,
post.
it could not land
Because
as well.
I have this idea in my head of how it could work, which is probably completely wrong.
Oh yeah,
But-
it'd be really interesting. And like, and admittedly, I only watch videos. It could have just been editing, and I could have been completely wrong. But it really looked like what I was describing. It's like, this is so
Yeah.
freaking cool.
I'm just imagining that there's just like a version of the game running for every person, but there's like a master version where they figured out how to use that to like if they figure out how to add an extra character and how to move it, and but they get letting people run their own instances of the game to keep everything in sync. Well, like I don't know. I really want to know how they do it.
Yeah, it
That
sounds
sounds crazy.
It sounds really interesting.
It's crazy.
But I mean, people do crazy things. I mean, just look at the Just Cause mods.
Yeah.
Hey, let's have 1,000 people in this server. Why not?
Yeah.
And then finally, just a little fun story. So Malaysia blocked Steam for a little while.
Sounds like Malaysia.
Because there was a game released, Fight of the Gods, or Fight of Gods, I think, which is a pretty shitty side-scrolling just fighting game. But you were deities, and you could beat, so Jesus could beat the shit out of Buddha and all that. I mean, I saw a trailer for it a couple of weeks ago, and it sure looked forgettable. But hey, here's a fun, not quite shovelware, but not good either. And they said, block this game, and Steam wasn't fast enough, so they said, fine, we'll block you. So apparently it's not fully back on all ISPs yet, but it will be.
Yeah.
So because now the game is blocked in Malaysia. Because, I mean, Steam was complying, they just weren't fast enough. Can't let that come through.
Well, Steam support.
Well, exactly. Yes, yeah, they probably got put in the same queue. Apparently it's getting better, but last time I did it took 2 months to get a response.
Yep.
Jesus.
Yeah. You got a lot of money. But, I mean, it has been a few years, so I can't speak from current experience.
Well, last year I did it and it was like 3-4 weeks maybe.
I mean, it's better than 2 months, but still not good.
No.
Still not good at all.
I was just asking a simple question.
So Knack 2.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I heard it's in 2 more Knack games. It's going to be the best game ever.
Yes. If these trends of reviews are, I think it'll have 104% if it's for Knack 4, wasn't it?
I think this one, the first was like 50%.
Yeah.
This one's like 70-something%. So plus 20 every time. Then a couple more games.
And the thing is, it's both a joke and a relatively well-received game this time. So it's like, you know what? I bet the sales are going to be decent. And it's still a cheaper game. It's like if I go down the shop, it's like a $45 game, I think. So it's like, even I was like, oh, maybe. Then I remember that I didn't play through Knack 1.
I got a funny story about it, actually. So a friend of mine, he got it, and he got it for free.
Yeah.
So there was
it hasn't been PS Plus.
No, there were a couple of hours.
I did $5 for it. Yeah. Oh, you mean on Knack 2?
Yeah.
Yeah, Knack 2 was free. Yeah.
Yeah, that was really weird.
It was. I think it was the longest in Australia that it was up for. It was. I was not fast enough for. But yes, it was just.
So it was a PS Store
PlayStation
era.
Store era. Yeah. I'm always surprised when they don't just.
Away.
Yeah, I don't think they generally do, which I always find a bit funny because surely you could just track that.
Yeah.
Just go.
That's kind of nice they don't, but.
It's.
As a developer, I feel a bit shitty, but it depends who screwed it up as well.
Yeah.
Like if they went into their console and just forgot to put a price on it, it's like, well, you probably shouldn't have done that.
Yeah,
but I've never used it, so I don't know what kind of tools.
Who knows? Yes. So
how is Knack 2, Paul?
From the demo, it's better.
So that's what I've heard.
It the controls a bit tighter. It's a little bit more like weirdly, Knack was a weirdly hard game at some points. You couldn't really take much punishment. This seemed to alleviate that. You just sort of back off for a second and you're at full health again, and that's no problem. It did more manual controller switching between Big Mac and Little Mac. I'm saying Mac, I mean Knack.
Yeah.
I like Little Mac, which I liked a little bit more. It wasn't actually, I didn't see I actually got any benefit from doing it in combat. I just liked doing it. It's like someone would swing at me and go, you thought you were hitting me, but now I'm a Little Mac. And I'd run away, and then I go, and now I'm Big Mac again, and I'm going to punch you in the face.
So what ways do they use the different size Knacks?
Pretty much only for environmental navigation puzzles. You want to be Little Knack to get to places that Big Knack can't get into. But I also was using it parts where, like, there were some parts that just, to jump up here, you must be Little Knack. It's just dictated. But then it's like I was having to jump and go underneath these obstacles, and I was just like, well, I'll jump over the low obstacle as Big Knack, and then I'll just become Small Knack, and I'll just run under the other ones. I don't even have to avoid them. And that felt nice and tight and nice and reactive. And I was like, they need more of this. This is cool. This is using the whole design and the actual idea of what Knack is to actually do something. And other than that, the demo is actually kind of underwhelming. It's just a little circuit that you run and you fight a bunch of enemies, and that's it. The enemy mix up is it's all a little bit more interesting, but primarily my takeaway was that the controls are much tighter. Not to say that the first game was terribly loose, but it was just tightened up enough that I feel like combat actually feels responsive now. When in the first game, I often just had like bullshit moments. It's like, this wasn't quite there. I think the overall thing is that Knack's really just not that interesting of a character to look at.
But I feel like there's a champion. It's Sony.
That
really loves Knack. And it's like, and that's why we'll get.
It's Mark Cerny.
That's why we'll get Knack 3. It'll happen.
It'll be great.
It'll be 98% this time.
That'll be the dream.
It'll be good old Knack.
The
most marketing I saw for Knack was in Splatoon 2.
Yes. There was a lot of Knack 2 and Splatoon 2. And there's been a lot of talk about this being a very good co-op game.
Okay.
Which potentially could be. I don't know. Anyway, that's not from me. I just played the demo, and the demo was fine. As I say, tighter control. And it was nice having manual control of shrinking, getting bigger. I remember that all being automated in the first game. Correct me if I'm wrong, internet, but that's what I remember. I don't remember a lot from the first game.
Very
I played like 2 worlds, and then I guess I kept getting killed by a turtle. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? It's a turtle.
I think I played it in a convenience store, like in a department store.
I paid $5 dues for it
somewhere.
It's worth it.
I played it in EB Games once.
Yeah. I've heard of that place.
I really wanted it.
That's pretty good.
Still don't have it.
Is there anything else you want to talk about before we wrap up the day?
I will mention West of Loathing. Because I did end up playing that quite a bit. So because I mentioned,
good, because I didn't know how much you'd played it, which is why I wasn't bringing it up.
Yeah. I mean, I've probably played hour, 2 hours of it. Like, it's enough to kind of get a decent feeling for it.
Yeah.
So because we mentioned it a couple of weeks ago that, you know, as a PSA that it was there from the Kingdom of Loathing people. I loaded it up with my Steam Link and put it on my television. Actually, works really well with the Steam controller. Surprisingly well.
I can't remember. I think they might be doing a mobile version.
Yeah, mobile version's out soon. I was actually wondering if I should wait for the mobile version because I think it could be a decent mobile version. As my experience with it is, like, it's funny. like I posted some jokes in our Slack that I saw.
Did you?
Yeah.
Did you?
I didn't even notice. Or maybe I did.
Yeah.
We talk a lot in that Slack.
Yeah. And it definitely captures the feeling of Kingdom of Loathing. I think part of it when I play, though, I feel like taking it offline into a single player only experience makes it feel like I'm playing from scene to scene to scene.
Yeah.
Like when I think about, which I guess in Kingdom of Loathing, you kind of like go into a world doing a bunch of stuff, then go into a world and doing a bunch of stuff.
That's not very descriptive. You go somewhere and you do some things.
No, it feels very gated.
Yes.
Yeah, so that's what the game feels to me. It's like I go into an area, I'm going to be gated, I'm going to do a bunch of stuff, and then it'll say, "Oh, go to the next thing." It does. I've got to the point where I've opened up the world map, which does let me kind of go to different places or go wandering, which kind of just walks me around to kind of get random encounters. The combat in it has been pretty simple. Like it's a very easy, minimalistic game to play, and how that kind of transfers to like an offline game, it kind of feel a bit shallow, but the writing there is really what the reason you're
puzzles,
there,
buddy.
Yeah,
there's some tough puzzles in that game.
In what, West of Loathing?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
As in, like, a lot of the dev team doesn't know how to solve some of them.
Oh, okay.
Because the team that made West of Loathing do video game Hot Dog as well as Kingdom of Loathing podcast.
All right, so maybe I just haven't got to it yet. At least what I've played so far, it's felt very simple.
They are puzzle freaks, then, people. Well, some of them are puzzle freaks, and others are just writing and pun freaks.
Well, see, I've had lots of puns.
They love puns.
Yeah.
Puns are good.
Yeah, I haven't played West of Loathing yet, but I just don't have a time to sit down and play a game like that.
Yeah.
But I will.
Yeah, okay. So it sounds like I might not be far enough in it yet to really see if it's going to get like ramp up. I
don't know if overall, I think a lot of the tough things are optional.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Because they did not want to gate the game by difficulty.
Okay.
It was a conscious choice in design.
Okay. Yeah, it's very casual to play. Like I found it, like it's just entertaining to kind of have the dialogue kind of trees and getting the jokes, meeting the interesting characters. Like it's very casual to play, which means that maybe mobile would be a better way to go if you really just want something to play while you're on the toilet.
I don't play my phone on the toilet, James.
What?
Yeah, that's Reddit time.
It's Facebook time for me. I've been enjoying it so far. I with all my Destiny, I'm not sure when I'll go back to it. Maybe I will just get it when it comes out on mobile. It could be more of a mobile thing.
Like Hidden Folk.
Hidden Folk, the terrible game.
What? Why did you say that? It's a good game.
Oh, the game's fine. Not for me. For Paul. It's a Paul game.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, all good games are for me. That's why Destiny,
so you get Destiny 2
is not that good of a game.
Oh.
No, it's a good game. It's fine. That pretty much brings us to the end of today's episode. Thank you for watching 8.5bit. You can catch it on our website, 8.5bit.com, our Twitter and Facebook. Please like and share anything like that. Subscribe to our iTunes. And if you do, please leave us a review because reviews help us share the love. Thank you for watching. I've been your host, Paul.
I've been James.
I've been Amy.
And we'll catch you all probably next week. We've been a little bit lax lately.
Hashtag 2bits.
No, it's hashtag...
What are we?
2 bits.
Oh, no, it was 2 bits. I forgot what I wrote today.
Hashtag 2 bits.
Falcon. Kick.
2 bits. Okay. Goodbye.
Bye.